This nation was founded on the principle that there are no kings in America.
2 weeks after the debate, and the most notable Trumpian incident has been Mr. Trump bad-mouthing Kamala Harris from a golf cart.
She's so bad. She's so bad.
This doesn't look much like the guy Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor, worried in her presidential immunity dissent, might order a political hit.
Here's what she said. She said, in every use of official power, the president is now a king above the law.
Ironically, a king who considers himself above everything is an apt description for where we are today. Behold King Joe and his court.
There's been this narrative that since the debate, he has not been out. He's been out. The videos I've seen of people out campaigning has been Joe Biden. On the other hand, I've seen Donald Trump on his ass riding around in a golf cart disrespecting people.
To understand panicked Democrats' response to the disaster made clear in the debate,
Look,
recall the disabled monarchs long ago who clung to power while their coteries maneuvered to protect positions and perquisites.
Joe Biden all the way.
We're riding with Biden.
There's one person in this country that's kicked Trump's ass in 2020.
The U.S. presidency is a narcotic. There should be a 12-step program for recovering from it. And its hold on Mr. Biden and his wife, Jill, provides us with a moment of clarity.
I'm getting so frustrated by the elites. Now, I'm not talking about you guys, but about the elites in the party who they know so much more.
But even immovable monarchs couldn't stop destructive palace intrigues.
I don't think it's by any means decided that Biden will be the candidate. I think more likely it's a question of when he goes, not if.
Now the once compliant press corps has taken the muzzle off. Here they are, frustrated by the White House press secretary's refusal to give straight answers as to why a Parkinson's specialist visited the White House 8 times in 8 months.
We have to keep their privacy.
It is public
I hear you. Guys, hold on a second. There's no reason to go back and forth and be in this aggressive way.
Miffed around here about how information's been shared with the press corps about him.
What do you missed about? What do you miss about?
Everything he just asked about.
Ultimately, the monarchical Bidens have chosen to retain their respective seats of power over attending to a personal tragedy. And here's their pitch.
this next term, I'm going to make sure we have straighten out the tax system. I'm going to make sure we're in a situation where we have health care for all people, or we're in a position where we have child care and elder care.
For the real Biden base, the progressive faction dominant in the Democratic Party, Mr. Biden has been and would continue to be the ideal president, who sees his job mainly as fixing his signature to their orders.
Are you worried about his cognitive ability?
No, I'm not.
With the Democratic National Convention fast approaching, the compromise emerging over Mr. Biden's too public decline is that if he withdraws, the party dissenters must accept Vice President Kamala Harris in his stead.
Happy 4th of July, everyone!
The conventional objection to the Harris for Biden compromise is that Ms. Harris cannot defeat Mr. Trump. Probably not, but there's a bigger problem. While progressives have shown they can gain control of institutions, such as cities, prosecutors' offices, or universities, they cannot win a presidential election. That has been proved at least twice, when Richard Nixon clobbered George McGovern in 1972, and Ronald Reagan routed Walter Mondale in 1984.
Thank you.
Democratic pragmatism prevailed in 1976 and again in 1992 when the party nominated Jimmy Carter and Bill Clinton, moderate Southern governors far removed from the liberal elites on the East and West coasts. Then came Barack Obama, who ran in 2008 as a moderate personality, but governed from the left.
The question we ask today is not whether our government is too big or too small, but whether it works. Whether it helps families find jobs at a decent wage, care they can afford, a retirement that is dignified.
The idea that this time is different, that a progressive like California's Gavin Newsom would beat the man Joe Biden described as the evil Donald Trump.
He's evil! table.
is probably wishful thinking.
What if it is a brokered convention? Would you then put yourself forward?
Hypothetical. So to me, that is not a question I'm going to respond to, because Joe Biden is our nominee, he's our president, he's not the presumptive nominee, he's going to be our nominee, and I look forward to voting for him.
All the speculation brings to mind the idea that the only ones who could convince Mr. Biden to withdraw are two former Democratic presidents, Mr. Obama and Mr. Clinton. Impossible. Mr. Biden sees himself as an FDR-like savior who needs a second term to equal Mr. Obama. Meanwhile, he has not forgotten that Bill and Hillary Clinton passed over the two-term vice president in 2015.
I concur with Justice Sotomayor's dissent today. Here's what she said. She said, in every use of official power, the president is now a king above the law.
King Joe thinks he can extend his rule no matter what. His retinue agrees. If you have a spare suit of armor in the attic, you'd better try it on.
Should the president step aside?